Hi, I'm Dr. Alan Widener from Massage Chair Relief, and today is our bi-weekly massage chair industry update for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025. I've been traveling a lot over the last month and have not had an opportunity to do a live broadcast or an industry update broadcast until today. So I apologize for the delay. Not not that anybody's out there counting the days, but anyways, it's good to be here today, and thank you for joining me. I was actually in New Jersey last week for 10 days, visiting spending the week with my grandkids, two of them anyways, and had a wonderful visit to New Jersey. I've been to New Jersey before to visit my daughter. They've been there for a couple of years, and it's just a beautiful place. Oh my goodness, the green and the trees and the little towns that are buried in these forests that you just happen upon as you're driving around visiting. But we had a wonderful time, and I sure didn't mind not having to be here in my home office for those days to be with the kids. And I tell you what, the grandfather or the grandparent gig is a good gig. My goodness, I love being a grandpa, and you know what? I love spoiling those doggone kids. And even though my daughter was not happy when she came home and found out that I'd given the 6-year-old free rein on the starbursts, now that I'm not there, I have to say it's worth it. It was wonderful, and I look forward to seeing those kids again. Sorry to wax a little personal on you there. That's where I have been over the last couple of weeks, or at least 10 days. Now, of course, it's Mother's Day right around the corner, and if you're expecting to have a chair by this Sunday, it's going to be tough unless you're in like Southern California where we have a store, and we can pick up the chair directly from the distributor for those companies. But if you want a massage chair for Mother's Day, you're kind of pushing it in terms of availability. But you can always leave a little card with them at Mother's Day dinner and say, hey, you got something coming in the mail. It's kind of big. And you'll love it. But and sorry I didn't have anything for today. But there are some Mother's Day sales going on, and of course some of those sales, most of them will extend into Father's Day as well for June. But anyways, the tariffs are still front and center for most of us. And I'm going to kind of tell you what's going on and then give you my opinion on a couple things. Of course, the last time we did this broadcast, it was before the tariffs went up to 254% on Chinese products, and the prices have been affected. Now, for companies that have stock already in the United States before the tariffs, or since the tariffs have gone into effect, those have already been through the port and through customs, and they came before the tariffs were applied. So there are still quite a few chair brands with models that are available before tariff pricing. But having said that, there are some companies where the pricing has gone up, and we've made those changes on our website. You might recognize some products that you were looking at maybe are a little higher now because of the tariffs. So, but we don't know how long the tariffs are going to be around, how long this is going to go for. I know that there's probably some intergovernmental meetings that are being planned to discuss the terms of the tariffs, both for China and for America. But they're not the only ones that are dealing with tariffs. It's not just on Chinese products. Japanese products right now, including Fujiorki and the chairs that are made in Japan, Sinka, etc. They have a 10% tariff, and on July 1st they're supposed to go up to 24%. I don't know. I know that Laraco is an American company, and the vast majority of their chairs are built here, but I know they do have components that come from other countries. And I don't know. I have not heard anything about the effect of tariffs on their products. They typically don't have any Chinese-made products as part of their chairs, but they may have something from Taiwan. They may have something from Malaysia or Singapore, where components do come from. And I've spoken to speaking of Malaysia and Singapore, I've spoken to one of my reps at one of the companies we represent and sell chairs for, and they're looking at outsourcing some of the more of the products more of the components to be built in other countries. So the damage, the tariff damage, is not as great. As a matter of fact, I think they said they may even be moving one or two models to full production in Malaysia or Singapore. I can't remember which one it is. But anyways, there's lots of jockeying going on behind the scenes. Of course, political jockeyings. There's manufacturing jockeying going on, trying to minimize the cost of the tariffs on the Chinese products. So anyways, just know that the tariffs are still not, I mean, they're implemented for Chinese products, but they still are not affecting current stock that was here before the tariffs went into effect. So you can still get a lot of chairs for the models that haven't been reordered that are still in stock here. You can still get pre-tariff pricing. And so there's something to be said for that, for, not waiting until, Black Friday or Cyber Monday or Christmas or whatever, when people typically do a lot of shopping. You might want to think a little bit further ahead than that to beat any kind of tariff pricing that might be more prevalent in those times. Now, of course, all this might be resolved by then. Maybe it'll end up being a 10% tariff or whatever, which most of us can absorb. When I say us, I mean the distributor and the retailer. We can absorb that. And sometimes the factory in China will also help in absorbing some of the cost of the tariff. So we as retailers and as distributors, we are doing what we can to not implement price increases. So and we are grateful for distributors that support us in that, and we're grateful for the factories that may support us in that as well. So anyway, we'll kind of keep you in the loop on that in the update and through my weekly newsletter. If you have any questions, give us a call. It's 888-259-5380. You can reach us here anytime. And if the person who answers the phone doesn't have the answer, they will get the answer for you. And by the way, prices, this whole tariff thing has affected, especially on the West Coast, the activity at the port. And this reminds me of COVID when we saw, and I remember making a video when I was visiting my son out there, and we had a video of ships for miles along the horizon off of Long Beach and Southern California, ships that were waiting to be entering into the port for processing and distribution. But there was a trucker strike. There was a port strike. There were trucker issues, not enough truckers to go around. And everything was backed up badly for things coming in from out of the country. And apparently it's like that again. And I was in Southern California, visiting my store. We're moving locations in our store in Southern California because they're tearing down the old place and putting up apartments. And so we're going to be moving, but it's going to be in Southern California near where we are now. But we went out to the beach and saw ships out there again. It was very reminiscent of 2021 or whenever that was that we saw it before. So lots of things going on. Like, it's never just peace and quiet, is it? There's always something going on, whether it's an election, whether it's tariffs, whether it's wars in other countries, whether it's, oh my gosh, violence here. Who knows? It's always something. There's never a quiet period of time where people can just kind of chill out and relax. There's always something we got to be worried about, so it seems. But anyways, I hope you're able to relax now. Spring, summer, working in the yard, enjoying the weather. Hopefully your personal lives will be a little less stressful because of that. But anyways, I also wanted to talk about two other little things that we get asked a lot about. And in the showroom, we always get asked about, can we create our own programs on these chairs? And you can on pretty much every massage chair that we carry. You can take now some of those cheaper chairs, the little tiny ones that are like we call them gamer chairs. They may not have that. They just may have a preset automated programs. Bang, you can pick 1, 2, or 3, and you get a different program. But and I don't know about the online cheap chairs cheap online chairs. I don't know if they have manual settings. I assume they do because most full function chairs do. But as you may or may not know, massage chairs come with automatic programs. They're preset programs. The choreography of the rollers and the airbags is already created. It's already established. And those programs have names relative to the therapeutic effect that you might be seeking. For example, rest or sleep or nap. That might be the name of a program. It's going to be slower, more gentle, getting you ready for sleep. There might be one that's recovery. That's a little more aggressive, that you would use after working out. Or you have good morning program, or rise and shine, or whatever. Each company has their own names. And it'll be a little bit more vigorous to wake you up. So there are these automated programs. Every chair has them. Well, what people do, and you can adjust. You can usually adjust the intensity of the rollers. You can adjust the speed of the rollers, and you can adjust the compression intensity of the airbags. Well, you can also make a manual program. There's manual settings where you can go into the chair and first of all pick the modality or the mode that you want the rollers to work, which is kneading, tapping, or a combination of the both. Those are the typical modes or modalities that these chairs have. And then when you do that, then you can move the rollers to where you want them to go. And there's something to it. There's a point, like you can move the rollers to an exact point. You can move the rollers and then adjust the point to a region or a zone, or you can have the rollers working your entire back. But you get to determine where the rollers go, what modality is they're using, what mode or modality the rollers are using, kneading, tapping, or a combo. And you can also and by the way, like maybe you just want to have a neck massage, and maybe the chair has an automatic program for neck and shoulders, but doesn't really hit the spot on your neck that you want it hit. So you create your own neck program, and you move that roller exactly to where you want it. And you can do a point massage, you can do a zone massage, and you can work that area according to your body and according to what you like. And then you can save it. That's only in chairs that have a memory function. Now, if you don't, you'll have to create that manual program every time you get back in the chair if you want to replicate it. You got to try to just remember what you had, what the settings were. The intensity was this. We had these airbags on. The rollers were at this place. We had it in the point, or we had it in a region. And then you will have to reproduce that every time you get in the chair. But some chairs have a memory function. So then you can the chair will memorize that program, and then you can call it, you can give it a name, maybe Alan, or whatever, Bob, Mary, Jane, or my neck, or whatever you want to call it. And then the next time you get in the chair, you just click that program on that button, and it'll bring it up for you. And that's you don't see that on a lot of chairs. You do get a memory function on some chairs, but not a lot, oddly enough. But you can virtually all of the fully functioning massage chairs, or full function massages, you can adjust, you can create your own program through the manual settings. And the way I just told you is the way you do it. You select the modalities that you want to use first. What do you want the rollers to do? Kneading, tapping, or both. Then you move the rollers to where you want them to go. You want them to go to the neck? You want them to go to the mid back, low back? Do you want it to be a specific point, or do you want it to be a section or a zone? Then you set that. Then you can decide if you want what intensity you want of the rollers, or how much compression. Oh, then you get to select the airbags too. You want, maybe you just want the arms going or something, or you can have all the airbags going and just have the rollers working on your mid back or whatever. You can do all that and create that program. And then when the program's over, if you don't have a way to memorize it, you just have to do the same thing again if you want to use that same program the next time you're in the chair. So that's a good thing to know. And, I don't think I've ever talked about that, but when people come into our showroom, we always put them on an auto program. Auto programs are so easy. What do you like? You like intense? Okay, let's give you the, slap you in the face and wake you up like from a horror nightmare. That kind of program. That's what I want. Okay, we'll give you that. Or maybe I just want something gentle. I want a gentle thing. We can give you a program that caters to those wants, but they're pre-programmed. Or you can create your own, and that's pretty cool to have. But we don't usually do that in the showroom unless people are really getting serious about a chair and they're going through all the programs and all the functionality of the chair. Then we'll go through the manual programs. But pretty much every full function chair has it. Okay. Also, chair maintenance. We get asked this a lot. What do I have to do to maintain my chair? Like, keep it running right. Do I need to, give it an oil change or a lube job, like a car, or do I have to get a tune-up? What do I have to do? You know what? These chairs are designed not to have you do any of that. And sometimes you do need grease in there. And by the way, massage chair technicians use white lithium grease for the most part, which you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, one of those stores. But they typically use that, but it's not because there's a lack of it. It's because maybe they've gone in to repair something and they've wiped the parts and they put it in, then they got to re-lubricate it. But just for you, if you hear your chair squeaking, 9 times out of 10, there's a problem with the chair. It's not that, oh man, I need to get some, 1040 oil in there or white lithium grease or something. It's not, they don't work that way. They are self-contained, perpetuating. So they take care of themselves. It takes care of itself with the way it was built. But the maintenance would be more like vacuum out the calf wells and the foot wells, wipe down the linen and the synthetic leather from time to time, because that stuff, like cologne, sweat, perfume, grease from your hair, whatever you use on your hair. No, not grease. I'm sorry. This ain't the 50s. You use a gel or a pomade or something on your hair, and that if you're sweating on top of it, that gets on the material and it'll wear your material out. It does. And we know that the vinyl does tend to degenerate over the years. They're making better and thicker and stronger, but it still can degenerate. And those are some of the things that can cause it to degenerate. So keep your bloody chair clean. That's what I say. Vacuum out the foot wells, because every time you go into the chair, especially if you don't take your shoes off, which is a real no-no, you got to take your shoes off. Or if you got socks on, you'll bring sand with you. You'll bring grass. You'll bring dirt from being outside, and you might just go in bare feet and not even realize you're dragging anything in, or think you're not dragging anything in. And then you look down there and you go, holy crap, look at all the stuff in there that's come into my chair. And if you don't clean that, every time you put your foot in there and the rollers are working on your feet, it's grinding dirt and sand and dust and whatever into the linen and if there's vinyl down there, the vinyl too, and it will wear that down. That's what you could do. And the other thing you can do for maintenance, and we've talked about this, honor the duty cycle. Every chair has a duty cycle. That means the time that a chair can function before it needs to have a rest. And that duty cycle for most chairs is the maximum time on that chair. So usually half an hour, because most chairs are max 30 minutes. So then you should let that chair rest after 30 minutes. And if you're using it 3 hours a day nonstop, over time, it's going to break down quicker. It just does. That's just the way it works. It's like a car. If you drive 12,000 miles a year, or you drive 112,000 miles a year because you're on the road, your car's going to break down. It just does. And that's how it is with the massage chairs. If you're a big person, like if you're 5'8" and you weigh 160, that chair, it doesn't take much abuse. But if you're 285 and you're 6'2", that chair is going to take more abuse than like a shorter guy like myself. I wish I was 160. I'm not, but I'm a shorter guy. You want to be able to keep that chair running for as long as you can. And those are the things you can control. You can't really control what's going on inside the chair. That's between the chair and the warranty department. They're the ones who will assess what needs to be done, and they'll troubleshoot it. And if by some strange coincidence all you need is a little oil or a lube job or grease or whatever, then any distributor worth their weight in salt will give you instructions on how to do that. But ideally, you should never have to ever touch that stuff. Now, maybe there's a squeak in the ottoman, maybe the wheels or whatever. The external components can maybe have some squeaking, but I rarely see that either. Rarely. And I've been doing this for over just under a third of my life. So I haven't seen a lot of it. But anyways, I hope you found this helpful. Those are a couple of things that are good tips for you. The manual programs and the memory function that some chairs have, and chair maintenance. And you take care of it. I think I told you about the customer who left we believe they left their chair out on the back patio in the Southern California store. In their houses they lived right on the coast, right on the beach. And they had the chair out on the back patio, and it was rusted out. And the chair was not 4 years old, and it was rusted out. So that kind of stuff, you can prevent from happening by bringing the chair inside, by having it in a moderated climate. That'd be like me putting a chair out here in Utah out in the wintertime. Hey, I want to sit out there and enjoy the snowfall and the ducks flying south. But it'll do damage to your chair. So anyways, I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please feel free to thumbs up, like us on our YouTube channel. And help us spread the word about massage chairs by sharing this video or any of our videos with your friends and family through your various and sundry social media platforms. And speaking of social media platforms, we are posting a lot of content on our social media platforms: Instagram, LinkedIn, of course, YouTube, TikTok. What am I missing? Instagram. I can't remember. I think I may have forgotten something, but there's a lot of content, and they're not long videos like this. They're shorter videos, like little nuggets of information that are very, very helpful in the buying and owning process of massage chairs. Anyways, well, I hope you have a fantastic day. I look forward to seeing you in 2 more weeks, and thanks for visiting today. We'll see you. Bye-bye.